Hey there, today we're jumping into a classic, a real cornerstone of communication studies, Lasswell's formula. If you've ever wanted a super clear, straightforward way to break down any piece of communication, well, you've come to the right place.
So here's the big question, right? How do you take something like an ad, a news story, or even just a simple text and really break it down in a logical way? This is exactly what the political scientist Harold Lasswell set out to solve. He wanted a simple tool to do just that.
Okay, here's our game plan. First, we're going to look at the 5 key questions that are the heart of this whole formula. Then, we'll dive into the type of analysis that goes with each one. After that, we'll explore the model's pretty surprising backstory and propaganda theory, compare the two side by side, and then wrap it all up with the final takeaway.
All right, let's get right into it. Section 1, the 5 essential questions. This is that simple but super powerful framework Lasswell gave us way back in 1948 to make sense of, well, any act of communication.
You see, Lasswell wasn't just some academic lost in theory. He wanted to create a practical tool. His big idea was to give us a systematic, almost scientific, way to look at how we all communicate.
And this is it, the big 5. It's so simple. Who says what, in which channel, to whom, with what effect? It creates this nice, clean, linear path from the person sending the message to the person receiving it. Yeah, it's a one-way street, but you know what? Its simplicity is its real strength.
Okay, now let's build on that, because each of these simple questions, well, it actually unlocks a much, much deeper level of analysis. Let's peel back the layers.
So first up is the who. This is the sender, right? The person or thing that originates the message. It could be one person, a whole company, or even a government.
Now, this is absolutely crucial. Analyzing the who isn't just about getting a name. It's about doing what's called a control analysis. We're asking, what kind of power or authority do they have? What are they trying to achieve? What's their real goal for sending this message in the first place?
Next up, we've got the message itself. This is the says what part, the actual stuff, the content that's being sent.
And this is where we do some content analysis. We're not just going to take the message at face value. Nope, we're going to interrogate it. We're digging for its real purpose, any hidden assumptions, or maybe some ideological slant. Is it just trying to inform us, or is it trying to persuade us, or it's something else entirely?
Component 3 is all about the medium, the in which channel. It's how the message actually gets from point A to point B. So here, we conduct a media analysis. Was the channel, whether it's a social media post, a TV show, a newspaper article, the right choice for the job? How does the medium itself change how we understand the message? I mean, a tweet and a full-length documentary are two totally different beasts, right? Fourth, we land on the audience, the to whom. These are the folks receiving the message. And this requires a really solid audience analysis. We need to get into who these people are. What are their demographics? What do they believe? How do they behave? A message only really works if it's designed to connect with a specific audience it's trying to talk to.
And finally, we get to the last question. With what effect? This is all about the final score, the impact of the communication.
The analysis here is called effect analysis, and it's trying to measure what actually happened. Did people learn something new? Did it change their minds about something? Did they actually go out and do something different? This is where you find out if the communication hit its mark.
So we have this really neat analytical model. But to really get it, we need to look at where it came from. And let's just say its origins are a little more politically charged than you might think. This is the key question that really ties everything together. Because before Lasswell created this general model for communication, he was an expert on something else, political rhetoric and propaganda. See, Lasswell's ideas were really forged in the fires of World War I, watching how governments used the new power of mass media to rally their people. His early work in 1927 was all about propaganda as a tool for social control. So that 1948 model we just walked through, it was really an evolution of that earlier, much more political line of thinking.
And this is where the shift in his thinking gets super clear. Let's actually put the terms he used in his propaganda theory right next to the ones in his later communication model.
Just look at the change in language here. The 1927 theory talks about a propagandist who clearly has an agenda, an emotionally charged message, and a target group that needs to be influenced. Fast forward to 1948, and the language is much more neutral. A communicator, a message, and an audience. The focus totally shifts from manipulation to a more objective kind of analysis.
So this brings us to the final big takeaway. This is what really sums up the difference between these two ways of looking at the world.
This table lays it all out, doesn't it? His propaganda theory was focused on a propagandist with a specific agenda, using powerful rhetoric for influence, with the ultimate goal being control and manipulation. His later communication model, that shifted to analyzing a communicator, the informational content of their message, and the resulting impact or outcomes. It's a fundamental move from a theory of control to a model of analysis.
And that leaves us with one last thing to think about. In our modern digital age with targeted ads, algorithms feeding us content, and influencer marketing everywhere, is that clear line from 1948 starting to get a little blurry again? Is the difference between a neutral communicator and an agenda-driven propagandist as obvious as it used to be? Definitely something to chew on.